Like Silent Hill 2 is like baby's first Silent Hill. You said, well, everyone says it's fun with a friend, and that's literally it.
Who talking about they like Resident Evil 5? You're wrong. That game is terrible. It's ass. It's garbage. It's doo-doo. It's that stuff that comes out of your butthole. It's shit. Number 2, it is a garbage game. Stop buying video games on day one. Stop buying them on day one launch, because these games are most likely buggy as all hell.
Rockstar does the same thing where you can, like, Steam, you purchase something on Steam, and then you try to open it, and it's like, oh no, you need this other third-party launcher. And it's like, what? And earlier, in Resident Evil 1, where Chris laughs at Wesker, and Wesker's like, Chris, stop it.
Joined by the illustrious, smart, and laid-back Kelsey Fearless.
What's up? Hello.
I hope everybody's doing well today. Welcome to episode 14 of the Hot Takes Podcast. I am your favorite friendly neighborhood beer bro, Mr. Kennedy, and I am joined here again by the radiant one, the beautiful, laid-back, and smart Kelsey Fearless with the all-natural. How are you today?
Well, the natural. Oh, I am excellent. How are you today, Ken? I'm doing very well. Very well. A little tired, but I got the coffee on hand.
I'm doing all right. I'm just glad to be at the end of the week. Like I said last time, everybody's flying in for vacation, and they're driving me nuts.
Oh, I believe that.
Bunch of spoiled ass brats.
Yeah.
You know, but I hope everybody is doing well here. We got a good show for y'all today. Let's get into this. I can't believe we're into episode 14 already.
Right?
You know,
my God, man, we are chugging through it. 14.
You know, it's crazy because 2 weeks go
28
by.
weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks go by really quick.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and you said episode 14, then I was immediately like, and I'm pretty sure there was even 1 week where we postponed it till the next week or something. Yeah, 28 weeks, man. That's crazy, Ken.
Well, here's to another 28 weeks. And then some. But yes, this is y'all's favorite part of the podcast. We're gonna bash on Nintendo for a second. Because it's that time because Nintendo is at it again. Nintendo. They're now going after YouTube accounts which show its games being emulated. So now you can't play their games, and now you can't even show their games being emulated on any consoles. This is ridiculous. So they're going after Retro Game Corp. You guys know that that company that makes like the retro game handhelds. Like they're going after these guys and forcing them to take down their videos and things like that because it's showing their games being emulated. Because Nintendo is that older sibling. Remember I said that older sibling that gets a toy and then they don't want nothing to do with it again, and then they see the younger sibling playing with that toy. Don't touch that. That's mine. Yep.
I remember this. Yep.
You know, I just wonder if Nintendo's they sit behind a table just looking for things to get upset about.
They really must. It's actually crazy how protective they are of their IP. Like, it's actually insane how protective they are.
It is. I mean, they are. I mean, like I said, they're tight-fisted. This comes from Retro Corp's himself. He said, "I hate making posts like this, but I received another copyright strike this morning from Nintendo." Let me pull this up real quick. And let me go into the land of garbage ass Twitter.
Oh God.
It says, "Hi friends. Well, it does appear that my worst fears have come true, and that I am being specifically targeted by Nintendo. My Wii U video was taken down, and I received another copyright strike, even though this showcase video was no different than all tech videos and reviews that I've made on my previous channel." So,
oh my God.
It seems as though anything that has to do with Nintendo, anything, Like I'm convinced that if you show a screenshot, they'll free and have your video taken down.
Yeah, but like, Frank, how far are we gonna go here though? That's a big problem. Like, how far are we gonna go here? Because like these are people who are honest that they're using emulators, right?
Yeah.
But what? It just, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. Like they're like, at what point are they going to start being like, oh, you're using an emulator, and just bully people into, like, Nintendo bullies people. They bully people.
Yeah, they do, because they got the money and stuff, and you know, the whole lawsuit with these guys with Power World and stuff like that. It just, like I said, they're the PETA of video games. They just look for things
PETA video games
to be upset about. And I'm like, don't they understand that this is what keeps their old games alive? People are willing to create consoles to play your older games. Like, I would be honored if something like that. They're keeping my work alive. Like, I equate that to, like, let's use Bob Ross as an example. Bob Ross, yes. Yeah, Bob Ross has been gone since 1995. And they keep his stuff alive. They got the Twitch channel that shows all of his stuff. They got the YouTube channel that has all his. He's been gone for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, they're keeping him alive. And it's like, I don't understand Nintendo with this shit, man. It's just like, are they trying to sabotage themselves? Like, it's
no, they're not. See, the thing with Nintendo is they've been doing this for so long that I think their MO since the very beginning has been, and you can see this now, but they've always been so gatekeepy, but they do have a library. They have, like, their eShops always have so many games, and they usually port the older games to the new ones. But that's what they do. They try to shut down emulation so that they can port old games from the last gen console to suddenly the current gen console or handheld they have, right? And then you can no longer purchase it on the old consoles, and it will never go on sale. Like, they gatekeep just because they will resell you. They will sell you the old games. They will just resell you it on every single console for the same price.
Yeah, at full price.
They're greedy.
You got games.
Yeah, exactly, at full price.
You know, you got games from like 1987 that they're selling for like $40, and I'm like, dude, like, come on. And it's
That's what I'm saying, exactly.
They're eliminating all other avenues for you to be able to get their stuff, and it's just Nintendo gets on my nerves, man. Like, companies like that. It reminds me of you know, WWE, you know, wrestling. Like, those guys, they had their own sandbox. They didn't want nobody else playing in their sandbox. And if you even tried, they would sue you or have you canceled.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, back when canceling actually did something. Back when canceling was actually, like, actually getting canceled. Like, see ya. Like, walk. You know?
And the funny... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Continue.
The funny thing is, like, I like the retro game consoles. I had one a couple of years ago that played Super Nintendo games, and I played the shit out of that. They made one that...
Yeah, I would like those.
They have one that have the Nintendo 64 gaming library. And I was like, you know, stuff like that. If I was Nintendo, I would take advantage of that. I'd be like, hey, why don't you come work for us and make these consoles so that we can sell them?
I think they did, didn't they? Didn't they make like a mini SNES emulator at one point?
Well,
I feel like they did that.
They made like the Super Nintendo Mini and the Nintendo Mini that you plug into the TV. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, they didn't really. Yeah. Well, I think they just I think what they do is they just make everything an emulator because it's all their own software and stuff, right? Yeah.
So I think that, yeah.
And I just think that they're missing out on a big opportunity here. I'm like, both sides can make money. You know, it kind of reminds me of like using Dragon Ball as an example. Toyotaro, who's running the manga now since Toriyama died, he was just doing the Dragon Ball AF stuff. Like, he was just doing like his own art. You know, Toei, they saw it and they're like, hey, let's bring this guy in here. So now this guy writes for the Dragon Ball Super manga.
Yeah.
I'm like, why not Nintendo take a step like that? They'd be like, hey, these guys are making these cool retro consoles that everybody likes. Let's bring them in here and make them part of the company.
Oh, I don't know, because they're so like, I don't know, they're so cagey. They're so cagey. Nintendo is an old company, too. Yeah, right, Nintendo's an old company.
They've been
around. It's got to be like 100 and what?
Yeah, they've been around
for now.
Over a century. They've been around.
Yeah,
but they
exactly
were,
right.
That was back when they were doing like the Nintendo playing cards, like the play cards, and
the playing cards. They did playing cards first. Yeah, exactly. Which, like, you can see, like, they struck crazy with Pokemon.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's why they're so protective of that shit too.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like, exactly.
You know, so
there we are.
Yeah, it's really annoying with that crap. Anyways, though, we're still on the subject of Nintendo.
Yes.
So we're gonna keep going on with that. Now, Nintendo shuts down this Nintendo Switch emulator, which I can kind of see. I can kind of see their point. Like, it's their newest console. They don't want people playing their stuff for free. But being able to have access to that stuff on PC, because it's free on PC, it would be cool to play like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, because it's only for the Switch. But of course, you know how Nintendo is, so they had the emulator shut down, and they're cracking down on video game piracy.
Personally, I think that's also another issue. I think that is also another issue, is that because they do handheld and it's lightweight, it is very, very easy to emulate it. Like for PlayStation, for example, like PS3 emulation is like still sketchy. But you can, and I saw something when, what was the recent, the sequel to Breath of the Wild? What was the sequel to Breath of the Wild?
I'm not much of a Zelda guy.
Anyways, the one that just came out, I actually watched someone emulate it the day it came out. Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, thank you. So yes, I saw that. I saw that when it came out. Yes. Someone playing it on the Switch emulator, and I think it was that Switch emulator as well. I remember that. It's Ryujinx, right? Is that the name?
Yeah, Ryujinx. It said that.
Ryu, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Ryu.
You would know.
Street Fighter.
It's Ryu? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Ryu.
Yeah, I know, but Ryujinx, okay.
It said that on Tuesday, the download page for Ryujinx, it went blank because Nintendo struck again.
Oh, that one's rough. Like, that one's really rough because the Switch is still selling. Like, ooh, man. Do we know what happened do we know what's happened, though?
Yeah, I mean, it says yesterday they was contacted by Nintendo and offered an agreement to stop working on the project and remove the organization and all of its related assets he's in control of. While waiting for confirmation on whether he would take this agreement, the organization has been removed. So Nintendo is trying to make a deal with them to shut it down. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they didn't get like a DMCA, like the skeevy part. They sent him a whole ass cease and desist order. Like you know what I mean? Like usually online, like they'll just send them like a shitty DMCA, which online, like the internet copyright rules are so shitty that it always favors the person writing it as long as you own the thing. Like, you can have anyone take it out. But I'm guessing he got a hefty cease and desist order. Like, I would not be surprised if, like, Nintendo of America issued, like, a warrant for his arrest. And he had to come, and they had to, like, I'm pretty sure it was probably pretty intense for that. Because that's a lot of information. That is a lot of information that they are not going to let go out. Like, man.
Well, I mean, the Yuzu Switch emulator, they got sued back in February by Nintendo, citing unlawfully circumventing technological measures. And these it said that Yuzu settled an agreement to cease development and paid $2.4 million to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Jeez, holy crap. And that company that company doesn't have money like that, so they pretty much went they went defunct. And that's
that's bankruptcy.
And that's why I can see why a lot of these guys are afraid, because I'm like, nobody has money like that to have to pay out.
Exactly.
A lot of these companies, I mean, if they're even companies, a lot of them are just, like 2 or 3 guys in a basement just putting stuff together.
Well, exactly, yeah. Exactly. They're just a small LLC, like, yeah, exactly. It's just 3 guys, in a dorm room half the time.
Yeah, not much scares me, but it's like, man, if I got a cease and desist from someone that's like, hey, take this stuff down, or you're gonna pay me $2.4 million, yeah, I would be scared out of my mind too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, which is kind of wild that I would be more afraid of, like, a company like that, like a huge corporation like that, fucking my life over than, like, the government doing that to me. Like, I feel, you know what I mean? That's the crazy thing about this is, like, I feel like you would probably get way less fines for fraud or something like that than if someone like Nintendo's, like, sues you.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad when a company can fuck you over financially way harder than your own government could.
That's true. I mean, if you
that's the scary part.
That's a story for a whole nother day. The fact that FEMA ran out of money to give people that suffer from the hurricane because
where'd that go? Well, where'd the money go?
If you look at the chart, America sent $24 million to Ukraine.
Yeah,
and they're sending millions and millions of dollars to other countries, but not taking care of their own people. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. Welcome to Canada. We do that, and our military funding is 0. So we just hope that everyone gets along by like, don't get started on that funding. But
it's like
we could go on about this forever.
Yeah, one of these days we're gonna have to, maybe do a second, short show just talking about the bullshit out here.
Yeah, this kind of stuff.
It's like,
anyway.
Welcome to America, where we solve other people's problems. Anyways, though.
And here's the view from Canada.
Yeah, so Nintendo does it once again, and I don't see it changing. I think it's going to get worse. I think, like I said, they're going to be, taking down people's accounts just for posting a picture or something.
Right. Like, exactly.
Can you imagine that? Like, they're taking a picture of a new Nintendo game that's coming out, and then they just, next thing you know, your account's gone. It's taken down.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, from one bullshit company to another one, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of crap that they're getting into, but we will get into full detail.
Ubisoft is like, we're watching. It's the beginning of the end, folks. You're getting it live reported on Hot Takes. It's the beginning of the end for Ubisoft. Just saying.
Yeah, it is. Like, they are. Yeah, we're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff for y'all on episode 15 when we're talking about
Oh
Ubisoft.
yeah.
So I just got just one thing here that I want to talk to them about. Ubisoft CEO blames gamers after poor sales of the Star Wars Outlaw game. Let me let that sink in for y'all. Have you ever
How
had?
dare you not like our product?
They are blaming us because that woke ass bullshit game sold poorly, and they're blaming us for it. It doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing. You know, it's just, oh my God, man. Now, it's bad enough that the stocks fell 17% because they delayed the new Assassin's Creed Shadow game that until next year. So it's going to be coming out next year, 2025.
Yeah, they're delaying that. Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, a lot of people are pissed off about that. But it's saying that Ubisoft recently commented that the sales of the recent Star Wars game were below expectations. And they're basically saying
Shit.
this is their words. This is their words. In today's challenging market with gamers expecting extraordinary experiences, delivering solid quality is no longer enough. So what he basically said was that we're spoiled brats who are never satisfied with anything.
Okay, but like, look at your audience. Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my God, they don't read the room. I actually was reading something. Apparently, like, this woke shit is, man, I should have sent you that. I just couldn't find the article anymore, Ken. But apparently, this woke shit was actually like causing arguments within Ubisoft, which is probably why it was crazy. But like, man, like, yeah, like Victim Henry in chat says, it totally wasn't the hot trash game. Like that was my initial thought. I'm like, really? Like, you can't like, oh, I made a shitty product that in no way was aligned with what my audience is and what they want and who they are. And then I just give them to it, and they're like, oh, well, I don't want this because once again, it doesn't align with who I am. It's not what I want, you know, like it's not the right audience. And they're like, you're wrong. Like, no, you're the one who's trying to give something new to an established audience.
Yeah, I mean, if they would stop focusing on these damn agendas and trying to please everybody and virtue signaling and white knighting to everybody and just make a damn game, the audacity to blame us because of your failures. Fuck you, Ubisoft. Yeah. Like, seriously, man.
Yeah, I know.
You guys,
yeah, I know, exactly.
You guys can kick rocks for all I give a damn, man. The audacity to blame us. It reminds me of Capcom when they were doing the Mega Man Legends 3 game. And they had a website where fans could go in and they could input their ideas and tell Capcom what they wanted. And then they canceled the game anyways. And they said, well, it was because the fans didn't do enough input. The fans. And I'm like, how are you going to blame us? Like, there were people buying the 3DS specifically to play that game.
Yeah.
It's like it sounds like an old relationship. It's not me, it's you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, yo, man, it's like, go to hell, Ubisoft, man. Like, it's not like y'all been making any good games as of late anyways, man.
They've just been milking the same shit for so long. And yeah, like, but like, I don't know, that just pisses me off, right? Like, it really, really annoys me, like, when I am, like, who I am, like, my identity is being used for, like, moral points and shoved into everything. Like, yeah, I fucking hate that, right? Like, there's so, I could sit here and it would take me probably, like, at least an hour to list off every female character that I can talk about that just she fits right in. She's within her rounds, like, great, well-written character. Like, you never actually sit and think, like, oh, nice woman, right? Like you actually have the character, right? And so it's like, oh, it's like cringy to me to see them just toss in a female character and have her main idea and identity be first and foremost woman. So it's not that she's like she's tough, or it's not like she's cunning. It's just all these things. It's she's a woman who's tough. She's a tough woman. Woman is always put ahead of that. And I'm like, I just like I blame Gamergate so fucking hard. Yeah, Gamergate so hard because like I don't want that. Like everyone's shoving that and saying women want this, but like I don't know any women who actually want that.
No, nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants virtue signaling just for the hell of it, man. Just make a fucking game. Like when they came out with Dino Crisis, where people like, oh my god, Regina's a woman. That's all great. I'm like, no, I'm too busy playing a badass game. And it's just like, that's why these Marvel movies keep failing, because they keep trying to push this damn narrative. It's like, oh, well, this is the first woman to do this, or this is the first bisexual woman to do this, or this and that. And I'm like, who the fuck cares? It's the movie.
You have to put a label in front of it, yes.
I'm like, it's the movie. Yes. Is the movie good? Is the game good? That's all I give a shit about. I'm like, I don't care about any of that other stuff, man. I'm like, I don't care. Like who?
Yeah, exactly.
And when you have people in that group that are sick of seeing that crap, what's the point of it? You got women that are like, all right, already, I get it. Wonder Woman is great.
Yeah, but I mean, but growing up as a kid, like I grew up during the girl power era. So like even in cartoons and stuff, like they're just badass women, right? Like, like it was always like that. But yeah, you're right. It's the same thing with, like this is the first woman to do this, right? And it's more so it should be like, she is, it's like, okay, say it was she's a woman and she is also the first space sniper to kill 1,000 necromorphs, okay? 1,000 concerned, okay? So the way that it's going to be put, it should normally be should be your name, and she is the first person to have 1,000 confirmed space sniping kills. Do you see the difference? Where that's her and she's a woman, but then her credentials, and then, or you say she's a female space sniper and she is one of the first women to not only be a space sniper, but also she is the first person. You know what I mean? Like, you can't keep shoving that in front.
And it's like they act like this stuff has never been done before. You got Ellen Ripley from the Alien series. You got Sarah Connor from the Terminator series, and you got Laurie Strode from Halloween. These women are complete badasses.
Yeah.
And it's like I hate movies.
Ellen Ripley?
Yeah, from Aliens. I already mentioned her.
Absolute badass. Like, she's one of the first ones I think of.
In the video game world, you got Metroid, you got Samus Aran, who is a badass bounty hunter.
Miss Sullivan just said that too, yep.
You got Lara Croft, who kicks ass. I mean, you got...
Look at survival horror.
Yeah, you got Jill.
Survival horror is all women.
You got Jill.
You got Jill. You got Regina. You got Claire. Yeah, you got Claire. You think you got that. Yeah, Regina, Claire, Heather. You've got all the ladies in Fatal Frame. You have all the ladies in Clock Tower. All the girls in Rule of Rose. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and everyone just played those games. Yeah. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like, no one was ever just like, ew, a girl.
They let the story in the game attract the people, but when you're constantly shoving something down people's throats, it's like working at a fast food place, man. For the first couple of months, you get free food. It's all great, but after a while, you're gonna get tired of eating that shit. And I'm like, yo, oh, this is the first woman to do this. I don't give a good God nothing, man. I don't care. I don't give a flying shit. Oh, this is the first woman vice president. I don't care. Can she do the job? That's my thought. That's my thought process.
Toddler. Yeah, this is the first toddler. Like, that's what I don't know. It's just, yeah. Like, I just hate being used. Like, just having my identity being used for, like, woke points for people who, like, just, like, people who need to just fucking mind their own business and focus on what actually matters, which is, yeah, making a quality product.
Yeah.
But,
and it's like this is where they make their money. Any type of group that they can attach themselves to make money, and that they're just gonna keep shoving it down your throat. And then when you as a man, me as a man, not you, but me as a man, it's like,
I'm a big man.
We're pushing back and we're like, yo, man, this is getting on our nerves. We get called, misogynist and stuff like that just for saying we're tired of hearing about rah, I'm a empowered female. I don't give a shit. Is the game good?
Right. Is the game good, right? Exactly. Exactly.
And it's just it ends up being something that nobody wants. Like, remember the what was it, the She-Hulk thing? That series sucked. It was garbage. Yeah. That last Marvel movie that they came out with was garbage because it was woke the movie. It's like
woke the movie. I honestly just figured they were all woke the movie.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, we're strong females, and all the men in this movie are idiots and incapable of doing anything. And I'm just like, man, I haven't walked out on a movie like that since Watchmen.
You're like speaking about this, and then it's like if you could see a meter labeled like feminism, you could see it like building up because nothing, like, oh my God, I hate that shit. And that's the other thing that I hate is like this current wave of feminism. And it's the same thing. It's just like actually all of the woke thing. It's like it feels like a lot of times it feels like a civil movement, except now it's going the other way when everything was like progressing to be very balanced, and now it feels like people are now being like, I don't know. I just, like, you got equality. Why are you trying, like, in America, right? Like, I care so much more about feminism outside of the West because here we have it way easy. But, like, just, I don't know. I just hate the idea of you have equality. The women before me fought very hard so that, I could choose if I wanted to stay at home or go to work. I could choose, I just had the choice to do whatever I wanted. All right, but I don't like this new trend of now that people are going, okay, well, you oppressed me, and now I am going to begin to attempt to oppress you. But it's like I could get into this for so long. But it just really annoys me because now what's happening is you could have added more women, but now you're pushing out the men. You're pushing the men out, right? And there's no, yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. At the same time, also engaging in the erasure of women in general. That's my biggest problem is it's like they push out men, but they're also erasing women because they are trying to dictate which kind of women are correct for a video game.
Yeah, now they're attacking each other. Like, one of these days, we're gonna have to do like a secondary show where we can speak about real life things that's going on in politics and stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, let's continue on.
Yeah.
But, let's leave it at that. We gotta continue on.
I'll cap
more
it off.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, I'll cap it off there. Yeah. Yeah, we got some more Ubisoft to get into. That wasn't the only story from these dumb idiots.
No.
In a story that I didn't even really notice what's going on, Ubisoft comes crawling back to Steam. I didn't even know they left.
Yeah.
To be honest, and
Yeah.
you gotta picture the CEO looks like a big ass bottle of Pepto Bismol laying on that couch.
Gabe. Gabe's so cool though. Gabe is such a cool dude. Used to be like the CEO of Steam. You used to be able to write emails to him back in the day, and he'd email you back. Like
I,
he's still so consumer friendly.
I don't know what the hell he may be a nice guy, but I don't know what the hell he's wearing. He looks like a giant strawberry ice cream cone with that.
Yeah, I know. He's so chill. He's so chill. We all fear what's going to happen when Gabe passes, because if Steam ever becomes a publicly traded company, it's over. It's private, and I think they have things set up, but I think they intend to keep it private and in the family, I think. But anyways, continue. Yeah, Ubisoft coming back.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they left to begin with, but it says that Ubisoft's dalliance with Epic Games, the Epic Games Store, is over. After several years of releasing its new games on the Epic storefront and not Valve, so they've been releasing their games with Epic Games instead of Steam. The company says that it will resume putting new releases on Steam, beginning with Assassin's Creed Shadows in 2025.
Good Lord.
Wow. So maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it says this game will mark the return of new releases on Steam Day 1. In other words, they probably weren't getting very good sales on Epic Games.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say that, and the other thing is, like, since PlayStation made, like, Gabe is pretty much the reason why PlayStation stopped being exclusive, like why we get PlayStation exclusives now on PC. Gabe also managed that deal. Like he's so, man, he's the best CEO.
Oh,
it's good.
I got a lot to say about that a little later.
Yeah, he's also the reason why we don't get, Isn't that great though? So I'm guessing Ubisoft was probably like, all right, well, we're already sinking ships, so, you know.
Well, the crazy thing is, I mean, the last game, and again, like, you have to really notice these things, but the last game that Ubisoft released on Steam was The Division 2, and that's 2019.
Mm-hmm. You still needed to have you still needed to get the Ubisoft launcher for it, though.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I got it.
Do you remember that?
I got it on my computer here.
Yeah, I had to get it. That's probably, I think, why I stopped. Like, I haven't played The Division 2 since. I think I played it, I uninstalled it because I just needed a better PC at the time. And then I think what happened was I had all these other games, and I'm like, right, I have The Division 2. Well, I've upgraded my rig. Let's see what happens. And I saw, you have to do the Ubisoft launcher. I was like, I don't think so. No,
I really enjoy it.
I
really enjoy that game. I haven't played it in a while though, but yeah, I took a break off of it because once you hit 21 videos and streaming, it's like, damn, how long is this game?
Yeah, exactly. It goes a while.
You know, this thing reminds me of the stuff that went down with Amazon and Google. You know, remember how, I mean, and it's still going on, where Google just completely removed all of their app support from the Amazon Fire products, like Amazon Fire tablet. So you can't even get any of that stuff. So I'm like, okay, you know, the Amazon iOS is pretty much not good at all. Like the OS is not good.
No, it's not. Kind of like the Windows Phone.
It's very, very limited.
The Windows Phone?
Yes, I do. It was a ugly orange. It was an ugly orange phone. I remember that.
Yeah, and I can remember. And the worst part, I think, is like they completely didn't they do the classic Google and drop all support for it as well? Because I remember someone talking about how at some point they wouldn't even be able to like use their apps because they wouldn't update anymore and they couldn't use them, and it was because it was the Windows Phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Like, even on Android, like, you should be able for most apps to just download an old ass version, right? But it's Windows.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be. It's,
they also did the same thing for the BlackBerry phones. That's why it died a death
oh
because
yeah,
the BlackBerry
man.
apps were pretty shitty. Like you didn't really have any options to do
Yeah,
anything else.
man, no.
It's
But I
insane.
can remember right before the iPhone, having a BlackBerry was the cool thing. And like BBM and stuff. Oh man, it was yeah.
Yeah, it's just man, but it's good that they're doing that because I think that if you're gonna be releasing games on PC, then you should release them on all avenues. And
Exactly.
I don't give a shit about the Star Wars game because I'm not a Star Wars fan. I never really was. Never even saw a movie of it. So it's like, yeah.
Well, I can tell you straight up, that's like not what Star Wars fans really want. All right.
Yeah, I think they started to go bad years
Didn't
ago.
they already fuck this up? Wait, didn't they already fuck this up? But didn't they do this for a movie already? Didn't they do Star Wars with the, or am I like thinking of something else?
Honestly, I've never seen a Star Wars movie. I couldn't even comment on it. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because I never went out of my way to watch it. But I remember reading, articles of people being pissed at some of these movies that they're coming out with.
Yes.
And it's just,
yeah.
I think the last Star Wars game that I played was the trilogy for the Super Nintendo. And holy shit, those are some of the most difficult games ever created.
I had like the Star Wars Racing. I can't remember what it was for the N64. And that game used to look so good. That game used to look so good. And then I remembered it. And then I looked it up. Again, Pod Racers. Yes, Pod Racer. Yeah, and I was like, it looks so cool to me. When, like, in my mind, it looks so cool. I went and looked it up again, and I'm like, I literally, as a kid, I was like, these are just like the movies. And I look at it. I'm like, what is this? Like, I can't even make out half the characters. Yeah, Pod Racer was legit.
The Nintendo 64 had graphics sometimes in these games that just like absolutely horrible. You couldn't even tell who was who. It's just like, what the hell is this?
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right?
But even then, with the Atari 2600, all them games look like shit, but you still had fun.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, so we'll have more to talk about Ubisoft and the rumors going on in the next episode.
Yeah.
We're just letting things unfold. Now let's move on.
Yes, exactly.
Let's move on.
You get this going. I'm just gonna be right back really quick. You go right ahead, Ken.
Got you.
I'm listening.
We are there's been an update on the Annapurna situation. Remember when we were talking about the I think it was the 24 people that walked out, the whole entire staff walking out on them. There's more of a development to that. It's saying that hold on, give me just 1 second here. It's saying that that Nathan Gary, who's the former head of Annapurna Interactive, and I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, but there's another guy. And then there's this guy, Hector Sanchez. So it's saying that the whole thing started between these guys, that they started like getting beef with each other. Because of, you had guy Sanchez, it says that allegedly he was taking credit for other people's work. Other people working on the games and stuff like that. And 2 instances where he made unwanted advances at female colleagues that made them both feel uncomfortable. So this is the current manager of the CEO of the company. So, I mean, that explains a lot why a lot of people are ready to walk out, because when you're taking credit for people's work and you're not the one doing it, and you're making advances at the ladies, like, dude, that's a recipe for a disaster. And it said that these guys were at each other's throats ever since the former Nathan, when he went to PlayStation, like Sony, and he was, had his relationship with them and working with them. So that would explain the fallout. And on top of that, the fact that they couldn't reach an agreement on contracts and all of that stuff. That is why.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Holy.
It's a mess over there. It's a mess.
That's not even leading up to the fact that, like, what the current one is what's his face is Larry Ellison's, like, the billionaire, like a nepo baby.
It's a cocktail for so much stuff. So you had like I said, you got a guy that, like I said, taking credit for other people's works and making sexual advances at female colleagues.
Yeah,
and what is
it's already a bad place to work.
Like, what is it with that shit, man? Like, what's with the, you used to be able to trust your boss. And now it's just people get power and they use that power to take advantage of people.
See, all right, I was gonna say that, but I was gonna say it's all about power. Like even like doing stuff like like making like passes and like female, well, male or female, but like stuff like that in the workplace. Like how usually it's just power. It's about power. It's a power game to these people. It's absolutely amazing. Like, I don't think power changes people. I think it just gives them people who would never do things just like, I feel like most people, when they're given power, like, they're good people, like they still have integrity. But I feel like for other people, it's not so much that they turned into an asshole with money, or money and power and everything. I think they just never were at a point before where they were able to take advantage of things and people, and it gets to people. I think it's more about having the advantage than it changing you. And I think that's so hard. I think that's how so many people slip through, right? Like, someone can be an amazing person, but exactly.
And it shows how it didn't help that the film division was making things more difficult for the gaming division. According to that, like, they were at each other's throats and fighting with each other because the film division would go one way, the gaming companies would go the other. And
exactly.
That would just make things more difficult, and the people that were working on the games, they got frustrated. You had all these things going on at the same time and bubbling up to the top. I mean, it's going to erupt like a volcano, and it's going to get worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
because like I said, you got the nepo baby that you're working for, which probably nobody likes, and then you got a former boss that's causing trouble because he's got tensions with the new CEO. You got the CEO taking credit for other people's work and harassing women. And then there's
no trust.
Yeah,
trust already.
So it's like, I don't understand how this company's still in business.
No, that's a crazy recipe for disaster. Like that's already, How is it in business? It's probably gonna get bought out at some point or propped up by daddy's money,
Yeah, I think it's a vanity project for his daughter.
It is. It absolutely is. Like, the amount of nepo babies I've seen that have been given vanity projects from their rich parents, and their parents gave them the money, but they never taught them the ethics or the work sense that got them the money.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I'm going to keep on this story because I want to see where this goes. There's too many examples of bullshit like that with these dudes, using their power with people and with these girls and stuff. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Exactly.
But there'll be more on that. I'll keep an eye on it. And
we'll keep
y'all
up.
updated. Now let's move on. Good. Let's move on from that to people insulting our intelligence because that seems to be the pastime these days.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A sport even.
Now we already know because we talked about this before, about when you buy digital games, never really owning it.
Nope.
They just passed a law. They passed a law in California, which means digital stores can't imply that you're buying a game when you're merely licensing it.
Okay. I gotta stop before we even get into this. As soon as you said California, all I could think of is that every game will now come with a sticker that this game has been determined to not actually be owned by the purchaser in California, in the state of California. It's gonna, I bet you anything they're gonna have that in the state of California. This game has been
it's sorry. People are just ridiculous because we already know that when you buy digital games, you don't really own it. We already know this. You're just paying full price. But they actually passed a law that tells these stores, to basically say that you're not buying it. You're not buying.
Actually fess up about it.
Yeah, they're not allowed.
Actually fess up.
They're not allowed to say that you actually bought it, and it's just so. Now these companies, they're making it so that these companies can revoke their license at any time, meaning the game that you paid full price for, they can just take it back whenever they see fit.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Because it's games as a service. Games as a service is the most disgusting thing. I hate it. I hate games as a service. It's the worst trend. Because you don't own anything. You don't own anything. If a game, gets pulled for some reason, you no longer can have it. If the servers go down, you can no longer play it. Right?
Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft, going right back to those dumbasses because it mentions them, that they delisted the racing game The Crew back in December when they took the servers offline. And this is why, all digital thing, which is inevitable, but this is why I hate all digital, because you buy these games, you don't own them. If the servers go down on them, you pretty much got a useless game taking up space on your computer.
Exactly.
And it's like all it does is just screw us over.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. And hopefully, but that's good because it'll start to raise awareness to people. It'll start raising awareness to people that, you don't, it's not so much, it's just most people will never get banned. Most people will never have something crazy happen to them, right? But a lot of people don't realize what would actually happen to them. A lot of people don't realize, okay, a lot of people think, okay, if I got banned on PlayStation or something, right? If I got banned on PSN, okay, well, I just can't go online.
Yeah, you're screwed.
You think you just can't go online? You think you just can't go online? No, your account's gone. That's why this is why I like Valve, though. This is another reason why I like Valve and Steam. Unless you're doing something really heinous, usually you only get Valve anti-cheat bans, so you will get bans. But if it has Valve anti-cheat, it's usually only for it's only for the game. It's only for the game you're banned in.
Gotcha.
Right, and it'll even say that you on your profile, it'll say that you have Valve anti-cheat violations on record. So that's it. So they just say this dude cheated.
So you don't have to worry about losing your whole account because of bullshit.
No, they just label you as a cheater and ban you from their games that have VAC. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
This law goes into effect on January 1st, 2025, preventing companies that operate digital storefronts from using words like purchase or buy unless the company is clear that it's selling a license.
Good.
So, I mean, when you look at it that way, that means that they can't they can't assault our intelligence by, they can't use these misleading words unless they're actually selling the license to us. So I can get why they put that in place.
Yeah, it's good. It's a step. It's a step. Video game laws and takes so much longer to catch up. So
yeah,
slowly but surely.
I'm surprised it took them this long, but it's just like, people need to read the fine print with this stuff, man. It's like, yeah, I'm spending a whole shitload of money and stuff, but I'm like, yo, at any time, it's bad enough, when you got Steam and the internet goes down, you can't play any of your games.
You can though. You can though.
Couldn't get in any ones that I was playing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I can get. Really, Steam will ask me if I want to go into offline mode. I just can't use if it has any cloud saves or anything though. Yeah, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, like most of the games that I got are like free and open world online stuff.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say yeah, but if like I don't even think Steam goes down, but even if you don't have internet, it usually asks you to launch. So I think as long as you've launched it within X amount of time, and then after, like, I forget how long, you have to go back online just to update it at some point really quick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you can play like the Resident Evil games and Wild Guns Reloaded, stuff like that, but if you're talking about, the Division, or you talking about State of Decay, stuff like that requires an online connection. Yeah, you can't play any of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you think that this law will do anything good? Like
it's a start. It's a start, and it'll raise visibility. And that's one of the biggest things. Is it'll get people talking and more aware of the fact that you don't actually own the game. So it's a start. It is a start. In my opinion, yeah.
You think that people already know this stuff already? They already know it.
Most people don't, though. Just because it's the same as like the law. Like people say, like ignorance is not a defense, but like there's people, like average people don't think about, like am I breaking the law or anything, right? And so most people are like 99% of people aren't thinking about if they're breaking the law or if they're doing something wrong. But like like if you get into a shouting match with some random person in the middle of the street, and you call them some shitty names and, you flip each other off and you walk away, whatever, right? Like just having one of those confrontations. No one's fighting. No one's beating each other up. You guys both just say, like, fuck off, and you walk your ways, okay? In real life, like, everyone's just pissed off. Nothing happened. You do that online, all right, well, like, everything's taken away from you.
That is true.
Like,
and
there you go.
There's a very simple solution to this whole thing. Why not just go where, give people the option. You can give people an option to rent the game. And then you could give people an option to buy the game. Yeah. Like you could be like, hey, you can rent the game and you just don't own it and you just pay for that, or you can buy the license from us and you will own this game outright. Or I even thought of a better example.
I thought of an example. Like I cannot. Okay, you go into a restaurant. All right, you go into a restaurant. You paid for your food. You sit down. Right. This is a way better example. Pay for your food, you sit down, right? And then you get into a fight. And then they go, all right, you get out, and then they take your food and they throw it out too. That, you know what I mean? You paid for the food, you paid for the service, you were under, under normal law, you're entitled to at least take your food with you, but they throw your food out and they're like, no, you can't have it now. Like, you fucked around in here, like, you can't have any of our services. You can't even take the food with you.
Man,
crazy.
I would go on a rampage like a giant kaiju if they did that to me, man. I paid for a hamburger and be like, you gotta leave. I'll be like, okay, I'll eat this hamburger on my way out. I'm like, don't throw don't throw out my food, man. You gonna get body slammed. It's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn into
Yeah.
Mark Henry from WWE, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell people to get the fuck out, and you have all the rights to do that, but the minute that, like, you say that, you know, like, oh, you can't, like, you also can't have the food you paid for, like, that's, I think, where it starts getting outside of the law, right? Or
Yeah.
within the law.
It's just, I mean,
I don't know.
it's taking liberties, but let's see how this is gonna go. I don't know if this is gonna reach every, because that's just California. I don't know how they're gonna get all of this out. If it works good there, I don't know if they care enough to get this law out to other countries and other states.
Depends on how. Here's the thing: depends on how much the state wants to lay some fines on people.
That's true. I'm starting to think that.
There we go. That's the other part about it. That's the almighty dollar.
The moolah.
It's what they worship down there. I know what that is.
Yeah, the moolah, the money. Money is power.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that California is like the guinea pig for laws.
Yeah, that's what Igor said in the thing. It really is. In chat. Yeah. Testing grounds. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. Anyways, though, let's move on because we got another known gaming company that shut down, and that kind of sucks. Merge Games is shutting down after 15 years. If you guys don't know who they are, they're an indie publisher company that did the Dead Cell games and Darkest of Dungeon games for the consoles. They also did games like Daxter, God of War for the God of War Chains of Olympus for the PSP, and The Order 1886.
Holy shit.
So after 15 years, they are shutting down. And I played every single one of those games too. You know, really.
Yeah, I played quite a few of those games. Wow.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it says in a new statement, it says it's closing up shop after 15 years. The studio, which started with a 22-member team, claimed it successfully managed to bring hundreds of indie gems to storefronts across the world. And that just, man, that sucks. Because I like the Dead Cell games. Yeah. The Dead Cell games was a lot of fun. If you like that old retro gaming style of gaming, you'll love that. Like that old, Ninja Gaiden style stuff. Side scroller. Man. And it's probably money.
Yeah.
And they probably weren't bringing in any revenue. It doesn't say why they shut down. It just says that we're shutting down. So you could pretty much put two and two together.
Interesting.
But there's another company that's shutting down, and I hate, when options are removed from us. And it just sucks to see people who work so hard on good games get shut down, meaning we got, companies like, Ubisoft and, pumping out garbage. And they continue to go.
Yeah.
You got the Call of Duty games that they keep shoving off on everybody out here.
Yeah. And they all remember when things were on like a yearly development and release cycle? Do you remember that? Or 1 to 2 year release cycles for games. Do you remember that? Yeah. And that was a huge thing that led us to this, right? Is I think because I know a lot of companies still do it, obviously, but I remember when everyone was doing that, and it's just, that's how we got, in 15 years, that's how we'll get 20 entries in one series. It's crazy.
Now we'd be lucky if we get 1 or 2 games a year. And
I know.
It sure so doesn't help with the SAG-AFTRA strike that's going on. It's pushing back games. It's delaying a lot of things the longer this thing goes on, because they're attacking all the big companies and all the big franchises. They've already attacked Disney. They already attacked Ubisoft, the eternal assholes, or EA as I like to call them.
Yeah, eternal assholes.
they're going after all these companies for using AI to replicate their voices and not paying them.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
A lot of people that are kind of just looking at it and be like, yo, what's the big deal? If you don't have nobody to work for you, your stuff's gonna get delayed.
Exactly.
So that trickles down to us, because we were expecting to get games that come out this date that was announced. Now it's pushed back to 2025, 2026. The longer that they drag this stuff out for. So it's bad. Yeah. It's bad for us. But yeah, it's another company that went down, and it's like it's just gonna continue to happening. Yeah, every time you get on here, every time you go on here, there's some gaming company either merging or being bought out or shutting down.
Yeah.
Until
it's getting bad.
Until one day where every gaming company is owned by Disney.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
In fact, we'll just buy every gaming company in the world and we'll put Mickey Mouse in every game.
Exactly.
Yeah, but rest in peace to Merge Games. That just sucks, because indie game companies, I got much respect for them for being alive that long. That's a long time, 15 years.
That is a long time.
I was going to talk about, I might as well talk about it. Back to the subject of Ubisoft. I mentioned it earlier that their shares fell 17% after the delayed launch of the new Assassin's Creed game.
Yep.
Which is not good. In other words, they're losing money for the delay.
Oh, of course they're losing money. They're losing money like crazy.
Yeah.
They're losing money like nothing else can.
Out of every orifice.
Absolutely.
And this short sale does not help. It says that it plunged more than 17% on Thursday morning after the company cut its financial outlook and delays of its release. This latest Assassin's Creed video game.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
It said Ubisoft said that the bookings for the second quarter are now expected to be 3.5. I mean, I think, is that euro?
Really?
Is that euro?
Let me see. What's the... where?
It's right down.
Oh yeah, euro. Sorry. Yeah, it is. Sorry.
That's euro. 3.5 MN euro and 3.70. Well, 370 MN euro. I don't know what the hell this type of money is. I don't have a currency.
Million.
Well, I know it's million, but I mean, like.
Million. Oh man, I don't know. I'm Canadian.
I'm American. Yeah, I gotta get, No,
I mean like, yeah, I can't tell you because it's going to be significantly more than USD, but I think it's pretty close. I think euro and USD are pretty close, aren't?
Let me see. I'm about to look that up, man. In USD.
Yeah, look that bad boy up.
Get that converter. It says, let's see, hold on, MN. What's the 350? $384. That can't be right.
Damn, I was real close. I told you I was close.
Damn.
It was almost 1-to-1. I called that. All right, good.
Yeah, I mean,
still,
but it's getting worse. It's gonna get worse, man. And cancellation. They had a lot of canceled games that they had planned to bring out as well too. So that sure as hell didn't help. And they're going into debt because of these things.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, yeah, that's enough about Ubisoft. I talked about more of them than I wanted to. Now,
yeah, I know.
Let's talk about eternal assholes banning players for no reason.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I think they had a data breach. I think that that's what it looks like. Yeah, they just, and I know because it happened to me. This is your Kelsey's Corner.
Okay, wait a minute.
Here you are.
We're going to Kelsey's Corner, y'all. Kelsey's Corner. Bam.
Yeah, we're in a mid podcast Kelsey's corner because this is a rant. Yeah, okay. So I go to get my. I'm playing Dead Space 2 right now. I'm doing a run of Dead Space 2 Plasma Cutter only on Zealot, right? So I need my EA account. God forbid. Like, I only have, like, Dead Space on it. I only have Dead Space on it. So I go on and it says your account's been banned. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? I haven't done Dead Space. I haven't played Dead Space 2 since, and I'm like thinking, and I looked it up, probably since like last year, sometime last year. So I did Dead Space 2, and I go and I Google it, and I see all over like forums, EA has banned people for no reason. And I was looking through support, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And so we had a stream at the start of the week because of that, where I was just fussing around with EA support. And like they were giving non-answers for a while, and then I finally got someone that actually like did something, and I got my account back. But like, man, if you ever want a good reason like that to never reuse passwords, like, do that, because I didn't reuse my password. But if I had reused my password, like, I could have had all my shit would have been leaked, you know. And then like, data breaches are absolutely fucked, and it happens all the time. But like, no one was talking about it, even though I could see all over the internet people were saying, yeah, I was banned for suspicious activity, like hundreds of people for no reason. And eventually, yeah, we all just had to eventually I don't know how many people actually, like, it was fucked. It was just fucked. And I don't think they ever admitted it all to it. I don't think they did.
It's crazy enough with that. It seems to be a lot of data breaching going on, because, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't both the PSN network and the Xbox Game Pass, they both went down at the exact same time?
Oh yeah, did they? Why?
I don't know if it was data breaching, or if somebody hacked the system, but they both went down within a week apart of each other, and they were both down at the same time. This month, last month, I meant to say, because it's the beginning of October. So I don't know if it's a whole bunch of data breaching or people just hacking into these systems, but damn, it's pretty bad. I think a lot of people are like, I'm tired of spending $75 for these games, so I'm gonna hack into that shit. Just
right.
Holy crap.
Yeah, but I got it, but yeah, like, that's just, never reuse passwords. And at the same time, keep your emails separate as well. Like, I have a trash throwaway email, I have a personal email, I have a business email, I have a streaming email. None of them use the same passwords. Like, they all have 2FA on them. Like, I didn't have any of that security really in mind when I made the fucking EA game, because it's one game. It's just I have it for one game, so I didn't care, right? Like, oh boy, like my $5 Dead Space 2 game. Like, how will I ever? But yeah.
How the hell are they gonna ban people and not tell them why they're banning people? It reminds me of when I used to play Fortnite, when I had it back on the I had it for the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One, and I linked my Nintendo Switch to it, and I'm like, okay, they banned me, and then they made me jump through a whole bunch of hoops talking about suspicious activity. I had to go all the way back to the very first purchase that I ever made in that game and give them the credit card that I was using for that very first purchase.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? I'm like, why am I being banned anyways? Like, nobody's giving me an explanation.
Yeah, that's funny. That always reminds me, or like when you get locked, man, there's nothing funnier than getting locked out of like your bank card or something. Like you talk about the last purchases and it's like, yeah, I may have spent like, like $30 at McDonald's or just something outrageous. Well, I spent like $30 at McDonald's and then I got like $5 in gas, and then like
It's like,
something like that.
It's like nobody's gonna remember that stuff.
No.
And it's like, you expect me to remember a card number from a card I haven't had in 5 years, man. I'm like, I don't know what that card number was. And it took me a while to get my account back. And I just I hate shit like this. I'm like, because you screwed up, we're suffering. And you don't even want to tell us why.
Exactly.
Suspicious.
Exactly.
Suspicious
That's what I'm
activity.
saying. No one would tell why. Yeah, exactly. No one would tell why. It was absolutely insane. It was the same shit with Twitch having their payment problem. That was the other thing about Kelsey's corner. This is a twofer. I got fucked over by customer service twice. And you know what? You know how I got solved with grace and aplomb and just being kind, because I have worked in way too many retail and people-facing positions at this point to know that these people are literally just like frontline soldiers. They're literally being put there for cannon fodder. But same with Twitch. Twitch had a problem with their payment processor, and what it said is, like, for me, it said, okay, I got the payout email. I got it updated in my tax thing on Twitch, like my payout that I had been paid, right? And I'm like, okay. So then I looked it up, and they're like, okay, so if you are like, if you've gotten the email and it's changed, but you still haven't had anything go through, they said, please contact our support. I spoke to like, I spoke to like 2 people, but one of them, the craziest thing is I was just asking, like, they were denying that Twitch was actually having any payment processing. They were denying that. And the craziest thing, the last thing that someone, like, one of them was arguing with me, and that's where I'm like, okay, I'll just wait and check tomorrow. I was like, okay, so is everything fixed on Twitch's side then? I just have to wait. And they're like, there was never anything on Twitch's side. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And I like linked them. I had linked them already to the tweet because they were pretending they didn't know. Or they were just saying, but they were like straight up denying. It was crazy. Yeah, the gaslighting. Like, it actually was gaslighting. Like, I don't like to throw around that word like people do, but that actually was gaslighting, because I was legitimately linking them the Twitch support Twitter, saying like everything, and they were saying like, oh no, like, that's not the problem, it's on your side. You have to go contact your bank. And I was just wondering, like, do I contact my bank now or do I wait? Like, is there any way you can tell me? Because of this, there was never a problem. I was like, whoa, like, and that shitty customer service pisses me off, because there is a million different ways that you could have said that to have a person be like, oh, okay, which says, like, which really all that would be is, instead, to me, if someone said, oh, well, was it on Twitch's side, and I just wasn't allowed to talk about that information, I would have just been like, oh, I think it might have, like I said, I would have just been like, well, if it's not resolved really soon, then all you need to do is just come back and follow up with us. Like, how would I say, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't, like, just wait a bit and come back and follow up with us.
And I mean, that was completely unprofessional how they handled that, because I know for a fact in a lot of those customer service jobs, they give you an option to, to mute, like, not mute the call, but to have it to where it's just one-on-one, and they could have easily explained, hey, this is what's going on. I can't really say much about it, but the fact that
it was over messaging. It was even over messaging. Like, it was over the chat. like the customer support messaging chat, which is even crazier because you could have literally just said, I'm not 100% sure, but everything seems to be okay, so just wait and come back if it's not working tomorrow, or check your bank. Like, there's just 50 million things. Bad people facing skills drives me insane.
I wonder, like, you could have been talking to a bot the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You don't really know if you're talking to a real person or not on those things.
Yeah, exactly.
You did get it sorted out, right? Or did they never fix the issue?
Oh yeah, I got it. I got everything sorted out.
That's good news. That's good news to hear, because that's a lot of bullshit, man. Like, seriously.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap.
Anyway.
No software is perfect, folks. Like, what the hell is cybersecurity for if they're not dealing with these issues?
Right.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yes. Now we're gonna talk a little. We're gonna talk a little bit about Horizon Zero Dawn, the remastered. There's some good news and there's some bad news, folks. First off, let me say this real quick. Sony is wasting so much money remastering games that don't need to be remastered. Like they did Until Dawn, which I don't think anybody asked for that at all. I don't think anybody asked for that at all. Oops. Now they're remastering Horizon Zero Dawn, which is not even, I mean, it's a PS4 game. Like, it's literally last generation. It's not like it's PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2.
And barely last gen. Barely, too. Look at it. Barely. Look at the game.
I'm like, why though? Like, what is the point of that? You're wasting money on stuff like that, and I'm just like, I didn't ask for that. Anyways, though.
You know what? I was thinking about this, and I realized that, you know what it is? Because you can update the graphics with more fidelity, but we have reached the limit of what we can do at this point. And so, like, it's much easier to remaster things now than to remake them or to anything like that, just because of how much it requires. Like, nothing's capable of what we have. Like, we're reaching a limit, and to make products like this as well, it goes back to what I was talking about with, like, the yearly release cycle. The yearly, every 2 years, that I think is a huge issue as well, because look at how long it took yearly cycle. I just don't think they can do it enough. Like, they can get the cycle.
Yeah,
like, they just don't have the budget or the time anymore.
It's just,
I think I'm still lagging though, but that's okay. We're almost done.
Well, it sure as hell doesn't help that they're wasting money on games that don't need to be remastered. A PS4 game still looks damn good, so I don't understand why they felt the need to re-release a game for full price, I guess you can say. And it's funny the tactics that they played, because in this article here it says that they secretly increased the price of the original Horizon Zero Dawn by $20. They increased it by $20, even though they're putting out a remastered version. And then not just that, not only did they increase the price, but then they secretly, if you notice, they removed it from stores.
They did remove it. Yeah.
So
they did.
So now you can't even get the original one because they want you to buy the new one.
Exactly.
So that's a scummy thing in itself. But I will say I do like how they handled how they're gonna go about this, because the remaster one, if you already own the original game, all you got to do is pay $10 to upgrade it.
That's not bad then.
So you don't have to go and buy the game again for $50. So if it's your first time getting this game, then you can pay $50 for it. But like I said, if you have the upgrade option, and I think they did that with didn't they do that with the Resident Evil 2 remake?
What they do? Sorry.
Like when you
it's just bad out there.
Like if you have like one of these games I actually was Control. That's what it was.
Yeah.
When they upgraded it and remastered it for the Xbox One or the Xbox Series X, you can buy like the upgrade for like $10, and then it upgrades the graphics.
Yeah.
So I will agree that they did that, because at least you don't have to, if you already own the game itself, you don't have to go out and buy it for $50 again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know? So, but if you're just getting this game, it's $50. So that's the news on that. It's gonna be hitting it already hit the stores. It's October 3rd, so it already hit the stores already 3 days ago. But that's the story with that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just keep going. It's just storming really bad.
Yeah, we got one more thing for y'all.
One more. All right.
The Parkland's victims' parents released a school shooting video game.
Yeah.
You have the parents of parents at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School and the parents of Joaquin Oliver. They are sending messages to a new video game, and it's called The Final Exam. And to win, you must survive a school shooting. The game is filled with not only sights and sounds of a school shooting, including gunfire, but also features educational items. I don't know about this. Like, honestly, it seems kind of tasteless that they want to come out with a game. Not to mention this, like you said, it was hypocritical. That that the same people that blame video games for all the violence and all the crap that goes out here, they're using a video game to get their message across.
Exactly. I just feel like there was a million more steps before that. Yeah. I feel like there was a million more things you could have done before that. Yeah, it's like I understand the sentiment. It's just like, yeah, like it is tacky. It is tacky. I can understand what they're saying and what they want, but it's just like there's so many different ways you could have done it.
Yeah,
Not like this.
The whole thing, like, whatever happened to programs like Dare? Remember that? Like,
yeah,
you had the Dare program, and they would teach you stuff. And here's a better thing: I
won like second place in the Dare speech. Didn't help me. Anyways, sorry, continue.
Yeah, I remember the Dare shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, my point is, like, you are their parents. It's your job to teach these kids what they need to do. Like, my father taught me, he's like, son, if anybody, taught both of us, he's like, if anybody attempts to grab you and pull you into a car, you better kick, you better bite, you better scratch.
Yeah, scream.
Do whatever you possibly can to get away from them.
Yep.
It's like, I don't think making a video game is going to work. And in fact, I think it's just going to dredge up a lot of bad memories for the victims' parents that had to go through this. And I don't think
that's what I think too.
I think they could have gone about, you got books, you got digital books that these kids could have access to. Have them read. Or
there's so many different things.
Or better yet, what happened to the school assemblies? Where they would call kids.
I have no clue.
Kids from class to the cafeteria and be like, teach them that way. I don't think this is the way to go, and I think it's very, like you said,
tacky.
It's tacky and tasteless, and it
is.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Yeah, video games should be associated with enjoyment, And, like, the violence in video games is, like, it's pure fantasy. And I was talking about this on stream, actually, with the same reason why Dead Space can get away with having babies and kids. And it's because it's only implied that they're babies and kids, right? Like, they only have the shape, but they're actually these disgusting alien forms, right? So you can mess up these necro kids, no problem, right? And that because your brain has a disconnect to it, right? You have a disconnect. And so, you go and you do shooting in a game and you have that disconnect because it's not real, right? So it has this level where, there's violence, but you're not connected to the violence. The violence is like such a small point of like an objective-based game, right? It's just obstacles and stuff. But when you're trying to remove that disconnect, it's really, I don't think it works because the disconnect is, what's the word? It's accompanied by the enjoyment, right? So I don't think it meshes well because you're taking away the enjoyment and the disconnect. So what do you have?
And you're also showing the potential killers. These kids that are out of their minds, they're actually showing them what to do in case stuff like this happens. You're actually teaching them stuff too. You don't think that they're gonna be looking at that game?
Yeah, and usually we hide this stuff to not glorify it, right? That's the other part.
And it all trickles down to the same thing. Like, they're using games, they're using social media and videos to raise their children. It's your job to teach your kids this stuff, to teach them what they're supposed to do in case stuff like this happens.
Exactly.
Have police officers come up there and show these kids what to do. Like, why can't they go that route?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Have an off-duty cop be like, hey, this is what you need to do in case this. Even in interviews, when I would get interviews for being security in schools, they would ask me these questions. What do you do in a situation if you see somebody approaching the school? And I tell them point blank, I'm like, number one, you lock down the school. You let the teachers and you let the kids know that something's going on. Make sure they're safe. Call the police. Of course, have them come up there, call my supervisor and let them know what the deal is.
Yeah.
And do not approach this person. These are...
Yeah, you secure and inform.
Exactly.
That's even like in retail. That's what we used to, when I managed retail, you secure and inform. Like, make sure everything's good and secure. Like, it's like if you have, like if someone comes and reports a lost child, what do? You secure all the doors and you start going on the radios, you start going over the PA, you start letting the head, everyone know, right? And you keep the police on standby, like that. Yeah, secure and inform.
It's common sense, and I don't see this working, and I see a lot of backlash. Like, I guarantee that there are parents that are pissed about this, and they're trying to probably get it taken down. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because there are better ways to go about it, and it's not going to help. Anyways, though, we have come to the end of our notes, and it's crazy how fast things go by when you're having fun talking.
That's what I was thinking. Holy crap. Yeah.
Thank you to everyone that showed up for episode 14. We will be back in 2 weeks for episode 15 of the Hot Takes podcast.
Yes, we will.
If you guys need to find us, we are on all of these platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Samsung Podcast, Pandora, Podchaser, Spreaker, Amazon Music, YouTube, and Twitch. Say that without running out of breath.
Right.
I will have the podcast out to the feed within the next hour. Thank you to everyone that showed up. Kelsey, it is always a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Ken.
And
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna cut off the podcast and then I'm gonna come back in because I'm gonna do a short stream for you guys.
All right. I will send the gang over to you. I will send them over to you, Ken.
All right.
And I will be back. I'll be back in like a couple hours. So thank you guys.
Definitely. Y'all come on over and watch me play some more Shadow of Tomb Raider. Hopefully we can finish it up today.
Yeah.
But
all right. We'll see you later, guys.
I'll see y'all in a little bit.
Bye.